Bellator 250, Thursday, October 29th, live on CBS Sports Network, and South Florida is well represented. And this American top team fighter, the Soldier Boy, Johnny Eblen, will be in a middleweight bout against Taylor Johnson. He's 6-0. Hasn't fought in about a little over a year, I believe. We'll talk a little bit about that. I first would like to know, Johnny, how do you feel about this fight coming up, getting back in there, going for it?
I feel really good. Definitely had a great camp. Really pushed myself in a lot of different aspects. I'm just ready to showcase my skills on a worthy opponent like Taylor Johnson.
Training for this fight, we're going through all this COVID. I don't know if you had to do anything different in your training schedule, your training regimen. Were you able to train at the American Top Team facility?
Yes. So at the beginning of COVID, I was actually recovering from a knee surgery, so it kind of hit at a good time for me. I wasn't able to really do much. I was more kind of just chilling at home, recovering. So it hit at a decent time. As things started opening up, I was able to go train like normal. Just less people were around, more restrictions, especially. They were pretty safe about it. They were only letting a few people in at a time when they had fights, or a guy like me that I'm in house. I'm there training 24/7. So they knew that I was probably going to fight at the end of the year. So it is what it is, but I made the best of it, and now things are pretty much pretty close to normal. Let's hope it can stay like that. I know things are kind of changing with the coronavirus as we speak right now, so who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, who knows is right. Well, Johnny, it's interesting because a lot of places have been hit. Don't get me wrong, but I know American Top Team got hit a little bit with the COVID. Were you able to stay away from that a while ago? Were you recovering the knee at that time?
Yeah, pretty much. I know there's been a couple positive cases. They've had tests done there, actually. I've been tested twice at the facility. They're doing regular temperature checks. They're doing all the right things. Obviously, if you're sick or feeling run down, they tell you not to come into the gym to go get tested. They give you place you can go get tested. So they've been very, very professional about keeping the athletes safe there.
When that happens, is it frustrating?
Something like coronavirus popping up?
Sure.
Like, things a little bit harder to go train? Sure. It hasn't really affected me much. If anything, the thing that sucks if someone's, if it's a positive case and it's like a training partner of yours or like a coach that you can't really work with, and they have to quarantine for 14 days, that's obviously a bummer, Or I've heard of guys, having a fight and then they pop positive and they either have to push the fight or the fight's off. I could see how that could, mess up some moments.
Now, you mentioned the knee. How is the knee now? And is that a reason why it's been a while since you fought?
Yes. So I fought just a little over a year ago. I jumped back to training. Ended up, messed up my knee a little bit. Had to get surgery around December. So I was recovering from that. COVID hit, so everything kind of shut down, especially Bellator shut down for a little bit. And then as Bellator was coming back, I was actually getting back into training, and I was talking with my manager, Abe, and it's kind of been a game plan to fight at the end of the year. And my knee recovery has gone great. I'm pretty much back to where I was. So if not even better, honestly. So, things are kind of playing out perfect.
Johnny's 6-0. He's a middleweight, training American Top Team in South Florida, here at Coconut Creek. It's interesting because when you're a fighter and you're undefeated, you're on a roll, and then things come up, whether it be the knee, whether it be just this whole COVID. How do you just deal with that? How does that process for you? Because you're on a roll, and then you've got to just put on the brakes for a little bit.
Well, it's probably a good thing that, you can be on a roll or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You just got to take one thing at a time. When an obstacle, pops up in your face, you got to take it head on and deal with it, and then move on. So that's kind of how I've always been my whole life. Think little things pop up here and there. I have to deal with it in the moment, or for a couple weeks, or for a couple months. And then next thing I know, I'm back where I was or back in the groove of things. So nothing new.
Did you do anything to relax while you were rehabbing and just having to take this time away?
A big thing was getting outside and staying really hydrated, honestly. Just drinking a lot of good water and getting my ass outside, because old me tended to stay inside a lot, stay out of the sun. I was actually kind of like scared of the sun, like scared of getting like burnt or like a skin cancer or something like that. But I realized how much it is to be outside. If that makes any sense. It's very important for us to be outside. I could go into detail about this, but that was a big part of my recovery. Was I guess spending more time outside in nature and drinking good water and eating clean.
Well, that's interesting too. So, do we see Johnny at Whole Foods?
Yeah, absolutely. You see me at Whole Foods, bro.
That's
great. At Whole Foods all day.
That's great. I just came from. I would have picked you up some spring water. I just came from there.
Hey, man, come on.
Oh, Atlantic Boulevard, University Drive in Coral Springs, brother. All right, let me get back to the fight and all. That's great.
The one in, I usually go to the one in Delray, the new one on Linton.
Yeah, you're up near the Boca Raton area. You're further north.
Yeah, I'm up. Actually, I just moved up to Boynton. So.
Boynton Beach area. A lot of fighters are up that way too. I know everyone's moving north, not south.
Right.
All right. So, who trained you for this one?
So, who trained, like coach-wise or?
Coach-wise, and any help? I know I was talking to Sabah Hamasi yesterday, and he mentioned Dustin helped with the training and all too, and then mentioned Mike Brown. I'm curious just who trained coaching-wise and any fighters that helped out as well.
So Mike Brown, King Mo, Steve Mako, and I just started working with Anderson. He's a striking coach, a Muay Thai coach. He's a great guy. Also, a couple fighters. Me and Sabah have always worked together. I work with Antonio Carlos Jr., Shoeface. Yaroslav, he's a welterweight in Bellator. He's 24 now. Dude's a savage. And obviously, I always worked with Gamebred and George Masvidal. That dude's taught me a lot.
Man, you mentioned some names there. And Johnny, and you're coming up, getting into that list, brother. I'm wondering, just what's it like being an American Top Team and going in there with this type of coaching, with type of fighters who you can work with, help them, and they help you?
Man, it's honestly just fun. It's a lot of fun. The amount of knowledge, the amount of work I can get out at American Top Team. I can get so many style looks and so many opinions on like what I need to change or what I need to fix. There's just a lot of eyes there, and it's really great. I'm really able to improve my game there, and I couldn't be happier anywhere else.
Who are you bringing with you for this fight?
I am bringing King Mo. I'm flying him out, but since we have so many people on the card, King Mo's going to be in my corner, Mike Brown's going to be in my corner, and Anderson.
Now, you mentioned King Mo. Did you know he was into pro wrestling?
Yes, I know he's into pro wrestling.
Did you ever do any little pro wrestling work with him?
I have not, but when I was a kid, I was a huge fan. Back when like Stone Cold Steve Austin was big and like The Rock, I was very into pro wrestling. I still watch from time to time, to watch the antics and watch the guys talk shit and stuff. It's always fun. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the future holds a little pro wrestling. Who knows?
Now, I was going to ask you, I was going to follow up with that, and that's good because, right, King Mo has been on TV for Impact Wrestling and now Major League Wrestling. So King Mo is really doing it from fighting to coaching and pro wrestling. He's really got that covered, and that's something, maybe, who knows, maybe we'll see you with King Mo in there sometime.
Maybe. Who knows? I can't tell you no. But if the opportunity presented itself, I would probably say yes. It's great to, kind of build a character, build promos. It's really good. Mo is really good at that, and I actually kind of look up to him in that sense, along with his fighting skills and his IQ and everything about fighting, and just the whole
You talk about promos too, and you mentioned Stone Cold and The Rock. I mean, two of the best there at giving the trash talk and the promos. It's really fun, really good times and all, but very athletic too. They have to be. Everybody's got to be in shape. And you mentioned King Mo. I'm thinking the King's Court with the Soldier Boy.
Yeah, him and Dean Thomas gave me that name. It's like Seoul Korea, because I'm half Korean, and they call me Soldier Boy because I can kind of dance a little bit, you know, like the Soldier Boy dance or whatever. And yeah, I kind of just went with it. Another nickname people call me is Eblen. That's actually a nickname from college. So it's kind of like my fight name, my nickname. Both of them are. I don't know. I'm kind of just still feeling it out, you know.
And one more with the wrestling question, and I'll get back to Bellator and conclude this. But have you ever gone to a wrestling match live?
I have not. I have not. I've always watched on TV or like on YouTube or something like that. Never live.
I do a lot of pro wrestling interviews too, and obviously COVID can't really go to shows. But I'll tell you what, if you get a chance and they're down here, check it out. It's so much fun live.
I remember one time I was flipping through the channels and I stopped on Raw or something like that, and I saw a bunch of people like on like the screens.
Yeah.
Like on the screens in the background. I'm like, what the heck? That's actually kind of cool looking. And it's like they're doing their whole thing in the ring, and like all these people, you can see everybody's expressions on their like on a FaceTime or whatever on the screen. It's kind of cool.
It's all legit too. It's virtual. People sign up. They have rules. They actually have a group backstage monitoring so no fans get out of hand. They tell fans what to do. They're in their ear during breaks and all. Yeah, it's really cool setup, and it's really going on. So
because it's on national television. You know, I can't have weirdos doing weird stuff.
No, right, and they've caught that early too. So they do the best can. So they've got to monitor it. So, but real production. But you got to have that. That's the one thing about pro wrestling. You have to have those fans cheering. You feed off. See, when a fighter, you could tell me better with that part, but a fighter, you go in there, okay, you might have fans screaming, going at it, cheering, booing, whatever, but you're really focused on that fight. But in pro wrestling, yeah, you're focused on the fight, but you're really feeding off how the fans are responding.
Yeah, well, that's what you're really trying to do at the end of the day. You're trying to get these fans really to buy into what you're doing. Whereas a fight's a little different, you know. A fight's more like, this guy's trying to take my head off, I'm trying to take this dude's head off. You're more worried about what's going on in the cage. You're less worried about what the fans want.
Hey, what does this fight mean to you in terms of the present and the future against Taylor Johnson?
I would just say it's just another step in the road, or another step, like, you know, another step I need to step up on. It's going to propel me into, world title contention. So that's my ultimate goal, be a world champion, and this is just one step on that road.
Were you into sports growing up? Did you play any sports, high school, and did you at college?
Yes, sir. So I played football and wrestled in high school, and then ended up getting a wrestling scholarship at the University of Missouri, and wrestled in college. Redshirted 1 year, and then competed for 4. Was a starter for 2 years, and NCAA qualifier. Placed in the freestyle nationals, university nationals. Had a decent career, but didn't pan out how I really wanted to. So that's part of the reason why I fight.
Soldier Boy, you were big time, University of Missouri, brother.
Yes, sir.
Holy, that's awesome. And hey, did you have Olympic aspirations then?
What was the question?
Did you have Olympic aspirations then?
Not really, to be honest. If I was going to do anything after college wrestling, I was either going to go into the business world or get a really high paying job, or honestly, fighting was kind of always there. I just never knew how to go about it. If that makes any sense. Like I know there was Glory MMA and Fitness in Kansas City, but I really didn't know they were around when I was wrestling in college. I knew Michael Chandler fought. I knew Tyron Woodley fought, Ben Askren, but they were all so far away. I never really thought about talking to them about it. But actually, I ended up moving down to South Florida for a job, and then ended up meeting Steve Mocco, and Steve Mocco got me into ATT, along with a couple of JP Reese and Mike Brown. They all kind of like helped guide me through my transition from like being a normal person to fighting. So, yeah.
Was that just something that happened? He was
Pretty
there,
much.
you were there?
Pretty much. It kind of just happened. I was coaching wrestling down in South Florida with JP Reese, and JP Reese is a ex-fighter at ATT, and he always like would talk about it. And I didn't know. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll stop by. Like, I'm just a wrestler, you know. I don't know if I want to fight. I've always, you know, I like getting into fights or whatever, but I was more concentrated on being like a professional, like in the business world. So really didn't think about it. Then I met Steve Mako, and this dude's like, hey, you're pretty good at wrestling, man. You should try out this fighting thing. I was like, yeah, why not? And then Mike Brown kind of took me under his wing a little bit. I started hitting mitts with him, and the next thing I know, I'm showing up to the gym every day and quitting my job.
Hey, what did you get your degree in?
Got it in health sciences. Got my bachelor's in health sciences, and I got my master's in educational and counseling psychology.
So you still got a lot of fighting life left, but I'm just curious, do you have a plan for after fighting then?
Maybe. I've been there's a company out there called Functional Patterns. I've been working with them very closely. So, because I've dealt with a lot of injuries and a lot of pain, and the whole company is about basically helping you solve those problems. And I kind of want to expand that and help other people solve their problems like I did. So that makes any sense. So if there's anything after fighting, I'll probably be working with Functional Patterns.
You can help others out, other athletes, people.
Yeah, other athletes, other people, dude. It doesn't matter. You can be an athlete. You can be a person that can't walk. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. If you're a human, it applies to you. So.
That's great. I know Chris Nowinski, who is a WWE alum in the sports entertainment pro wrestling world, is doing a lot with concussions. And he's a Harvard grad, very knowledgeable, and helping a lot of people out, just studying the brain and what's happening there. It's really good with the body and the brain and things like that, especially in combat sports.
Yeah, especially if you're getting punched in the head or kicked in the head.
Yeah.
Make sure that brain stays healthy. You do the right things to keep it from deteriorating.
All right, a couple more questions. We'll get you out of here. What do you like about Bellator?
Man, so I think Bellator cares about the fighters, and they put on a good production, man, and they're getting good fighters. Who's the light heavyweight they just got? Freaking Corey Anderson. They just picked up Corey Anderson. I mean, they have Usasi there. They're getting good guys, and they put on a good promotion, and they care about their fighters. They pay them well. You know? Sometimes I look at UFC, and I'm like, man, if they, I know sometimes they won't pay guys. I don't know. I really don't know, but it's just word around the street, and then they'll just go for the cheaper option. Sometimes I think they just don't really care because they have so many people that want to fight for the UFC. It's just like they can just go back, look at the farm, and be like, okay, who wants to fight for this? It's like they're almost just like a number there. If that makes any sense.
No, it does, but that happens in you're in the business world too. That happens, I think, in any corporation, especially when you're the top one per se, financially, whatever it is. No offense to anyone else, other companies, anything, but it becomes way more for the business than anything else.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to talk bad about the UFC. I think they're doing a great job as well.
Sure.
I think Bellator and UFC are doing a great job. It's just maybe I'm a little biased. But I like working for Bellator, and they treat me well, and I think they actually care about me, and they're trying to, build fighters the right way and have guys have good fight careers, and make money at the same time.
All right, so Halloween is right around the corner. You bringing the tricks or the treats to Bellator 250?
I'm bringing the tricks and the treats, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring some tricks up my sleeve, and then, everybody's going to be in for a treat of some violence.
That's great. This is an American top team thing. Sabah Hamasi says the same thing, basically.
Yeah. We just like to bring the violence from ATT, man.
That's awesome. And I'll let you go. On this.
It's a South Florida thing, I think.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. It is a South Florida thing, baby.
I'm not even from here, and I'm picking it up. I'm from freaking Missouri, bro, and I'm picking it up. So just being around these guys, makes me, I don't know, a little more violent, I guess. Makes me want to dish out the violence.
Football, bro. Into the Kansas City Chiefs or no? I'm way off.
Oh, dude, Kansas City Chiefs all day. KC Chiefs, Kansas City Royals, till the day I die, man.
You bet
Even when the Royals sucked, man, before they had a world championship, before the Chiefs had a world championship, and I was always a fan. And now that they're doing well, I don't know much about the Royals right now.
Yeah, but still, no, they do. I mean, come on, they were in the World Series. Hosmer is a kid from down here in South Florida who played for the Royals when they won the World Series. First baseman, great player.
Yeah. True, that's true.
So you had good runs, and then the Chiefs, obviously, with the Super Bowl. Good for Andy Reid and all. So
they're doing awesome this year, too. I love watching them.
Yeah, man, Mahomes and that whole offense. I can talk to you more about that, but let me let you get out of here. Hey, favorite Halloween candy? Please don't say candy corn.
Hell no. Who likes candy corn, man? Come on. I'll have to say Reese's, man. Reese's. I'm a peanut butter guy. Peanut butter and chocolate.
Man, that's an ATT thing, too. It's cool. Is it cool? I mean, I know you're so focused on your fight, but is it cool? It really doesn't matter if other ATT guys are on the same card?
This is the first time this has ever happened, so I'm used to going out by myself and fighting. So this is actually going to be a lot of fun because it's going to be like we're hanging out, but just not at the gym. We're going to be bullshitting, training, having fun. The next thing you know, it's like, oh, dude, I got to go get in the scrap. Hold on.
That's great. Hey, Johnny, thanks for taking the time. I enjoyed it. I hope we could do it again.